I love you all.
Okay. Thank you.
Hi,
Thank you.
Nuno, can't see your picture.
I know I'm new at this, so I can't see any of you. So I guess I have to add you guys first. No,
nice and clear.
You need to
Nuno, right?
Cameras.
Yes.
Nuno.
The
Welcome.
camera. So how can? Thank you. Hi, Peter. Thank you so much. I'm just trying to turn on the camera. So.
Turn the camera.
That'll help.
Okay.
That's okay. We all had growing pains. We all learned how to use it.
Yeah, another word for growing pains are new skills.
Yes, thank you, Peter. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, that's what we are trying to do here. So I'm just okay. So I'll keep trying, and you go ahead, please.
Okay. We'll continue.
We can hear you. Yes.
Yes, that's the most important right now. Thank you so much for
welcome.
And we'll see if we can get Bonnie on today. Yay.
Yeah, that'll be great. Wendy and Stephen and Diana, they just flash on for me.
Yeah.
No picture, but they're trying.
Yeah, they're here somewhere. Sure.
Hello, Canto family.
Yay!
Hey, Hector.
Hey, Hector. Diana.
Hi, Diana. Everybody.
Hi, Hector.
Diana.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hi,
Diana.
Diana.
Debbie.
Hi, Debbie.
Hi, Debbie.
Hi,
Debbie.
Debbie.
Hello.
I keep
Donna
forgetting
P.
Jilly is not coming.
Alex.
And Bernadette is not coming.
Hello.
Can you bring my earthing there in the room at the back and take it here? No, on the box there. On top of
Do
it.
you do something for Bernadette?
No, she's not able to make the call today, Peter.
Okay.
And same with Jilly, so she's not coming either.
Okay.
Looks like Bonnie's not coming in, and all the others, bunch missing still, but I think we're rolling. Yuri, you recording?
Yes, I'm recording.
Okay, I'm gonna start recording too here.
Yuri, can you tell how many views?
How many views?
Yeah.
The YouTube? I'm sorry, the video?
Yes.
Yes, I can. Yeah.
Okay, so this is going to be a very important session.
Yay.
Yay. Oh, hi, Sunny.
Hey, Sunny.
I'm gonna mute myself now. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
We always talk about no secrets. And this is going to be a very full review of back to it of the last 50,000 years. So in 50,000 years ago, what did we do for humanity?
Lemuria went
Started
down.
all over.
Lemuria, and we did a destructive reset.
Yes.
So we basically plowed it under and then started with two different types of cavemen. And that reset of 50,000 years ago kept going to and through Atlantis. And when did that happen?
15,000 years ago.
Right, 13 and a half thousand years ago. And who is Judy?
Plato.
Exactly. So we have Plato. We have all of us, and it's very special. And we cross the quantum threshold. And what's the difference this time?
Non-destructive reset.
A non-destructive reset of humanity. In Lemuria, we plowed it under because there was too much love and not enough technology. How about that? Too much love.
That's crazy.
Not enough technology.
We never got out of the canoe.
Yeah, right.
Wasn't balanced.
It's hard
And
to
then
imagine.
we what happened 13,000 years ago?
Too much technology.
Landed too much technology, not enough love, not enough positivity. So we plowed it under, started over. Two types of cavemen. It was basically the same thing. And now, this time, in a spaceship above Colorado Springs, 9.5 hours, 40 people, the decision was made to have a non-destructive reset for humanity. That was a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And you guys are the very advanced team for all 1,000 universes for this non-destructive reset. Now, do people have patience to be sick? Do they have patience to do what others who don't know what's happening say to do? No, they don't. The key is not to wear a mask, not to just social distance, not to do any of the stuff. What is the key?
To be in the truth?
To become quantum.
Yep.
One of the things that happened.
Quantum threshold.
Well, that's part of it, and I'll go to that next. Part of it is when you cross through the quantum threshold, you still have some stuff. You still might have a very strong ego. And or, notice I said and or. You're the trickster, the one trickster is still a little fool you.
Oh, yes.
But once you go from 7 to 6, your heart becomes quantum as well as blood. And we go from 7 to 6. And what happens when you go to 6 individually? You can't get 19. It's just not possible. It comes from not being a 6. It comes from you being a 7. And this was my mystery. There are roughly, as you know, we are all one with the Magnificence. And when I talk to one Magnificence or all of the Magnificence, I have learned that about half of us are still tainted. We're still sevens. As a group, we cross over the threshold. But as individuals, less than half of us have crossed over this threshold. And so we went through a major exercise the last few days, whether to eliminate those of us who have crossed the threshold but are still sevens. And we've selected not to. So even though half of you are giving out wrong information and half of you have wrong beliefs, and we went through a process of knowing every single one and talking. Over half of you, we have basically added 2 people, knowing that we can't do everybody. We can only do 33. And we even talked about iOS 14, Apple's new phone. And it kind of looks like Apple will do a RISC processor because they've purchased that capability from Intel. And RISC stands for Reduced Instruction Set. So use it for more faster processor by eliminating things you don't use. And we're hoping that other things that I've read and others read, Julie, for example, the capability will be 50 once Apple makes the announcement. And so we identified all the people for the next basically 30 years that we want that I want capacity for. And I've identified those people. And Nuno, that is the process that got you in.
Okay.
Plus me talking with your Magnificence.
Yes.
Jack has also joined us. He probably won't be here. He's not here right now. That's all.
Yeah, he's not here.
So that Jack Woodard, but he'll be on the list. So you'll notice Nuno and you'll notice Jack. I was unaware of the block list that is on FaceTime. And my list, there were 10 years worth of stuff, and I took it off. And that's why Olga's here, for example.
Yes.
But that's gone, and it was so nice to see Olga, because it was my problem that she wasn't on here.
Mm-hmm.
But now she is. The key point, I'm going to go back through that, is you guys are part of the non-destructive reset for humanity. There is a very advanced team. It is the first team for all 1,000 universes. So that's what your roll-up is. Half of you have what I call a spiritual ego. You think you know, but you don't. Your ego that is giving you false information. And it is over half of you. And the basic choice was to go through the scenario of eliminating those with spiritual egos from the list. But how are they going to get rid of the ego? By us continuing to be positive and be with them. So they're still on the list. But it's important for all of you to know that more than half of you, for whatever reason, aren't letting go. Now, right now on my screen is Noreen and Diana.
What? Just me?
No. And then the two that were at the very first meet and greet at the cabin, in those two. So it's very interesting. It's these four on the list. But I want to reemphasize, the key was to cross the quantum threshold. But half of you aren't there yet. You still have the wrong beliefs, and it's up to you to change them. It's that simple. And
Thank you, Peter.
Well, you're welcome. And very much. I'm not going to tell you if you need work. In other words, if you have wrong beliefs. But for half of you do. And that will not impact those who are quantum. Those who have the four, right? For example, four here, you're okay. And I'm okay. So there's five of us right there. Judy's okay. Julie's okay. So I stopped because if I keep going, I'll do them all. And that's not my objective. My objective is to say that you have crossed the threshold, all of you, and that's huge. And your 1,000 days is up August 6th of the next year. But what follows the 1,000 days? A 1-year test.
Yes. No.
How many? What is that year? That's the year of 0 mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Because quantum is all about never making mistakes. You don't want to make a mistake. It's like being with a group outside and you wear a mask, you don't sneeze on others, and all you do is sneeze on others. That's what a mistake is, a sneeze. Well, you don't want to do that. But how can you do that if you don't know it? Right? How can you not make mistakes if you know what mistakes are? You can't. So anything that leads to a mistake, it isn't knowing. That's not the problem. The problem is you haven't learned enough. You're not happy enough, or you're not having as much fun as you should have, or you're not growing your skill as fast as you can, or you're not becoming quantum as fast as you can, or you're not able to change materiality, which you'll do through quantum. And you'll be able to do things for people in 4.5 seconds that they can't do for themselves ever. But you'll be able to teach them.
Yes. Another part of the practice, Peter, because if we don't do it and practice it ourselves,
Correct.
we'll never get it done for anybody.
Correct. And, people say that's not possible. Baloney, it is possible. And once you get it, it's 3 hours a day, big deal. There are 24 hours a day. You spend 3 of them. And the rest of the time, it's being human, except you're quantum. That's what it is. So everybody is quantum. Everybody came from quantum. There are zillions of people in the 1,000 universes. There are zillions and zillions of mistakes made. I don't want any mistake from any person. But we have a great team. We have crossed the quantum threshold. The love is amazing. The positivity is amazing. The more the number continues to hold at 100 or higher, daily visit. And a year ago, I would have the daily visit 50. So that's double. That's really great. But when the news spread in October 2018 and hit a flash point, it went to 1,018 daily visits. I mean, that's a lot. And then people looked at it and said, it's too much work. My birth rate. I don't have to do any of that. Baloney. How do you learn it? By doing it. Will you learn it other way? Never. It's too complex. What's the irony is when you learn from it, it's simple. It's easy. And the happiness and the fun and the skills growth and the personal growth and the quantum analog, they all go together. You have no desire to do anything. You have no desire to be wrong. But the way you're going to be right is by learning to do it right.
Sorry, Peter.
Yes.
You said the last sentence, please. The way you learn.
Do it right is by learning every single part of quantum. And that's what the website does.
Yes.
Is address every single piece of returning quantum in less than 15,000 words. And then there's nothing like participating. It's one thing to say, and view a video. But it's another thing to participate.
Yes.
And what you guys are doing is participating. Now, yeah, when you look at the video, that's really good, but that's not the same as participating. Because when you participate, you can add, you can ask, right? You can add truth. You can ask about truth. And together we are the participants. In a video, you can't do that. Now, it's subtle. The difference between video and direct participation. You never know, for example, when the subject will be something where, oh yeah, I have that question, and bam, there's the answer. That's the difference. And when you're participating, and you watch a video pass, you're not part of it. You're watching a video. It's like going to Hollywood versus being one of our system.
Yeah, being in the picture versus screen.
Right. So, questions?
Well,
now this is a lot of information, Peter, and I think a lot of people are like, "Whoa, just what happened?" Trying to, connect the dots here on what's going on. There, you did a great job of explaining a lot of it, but I think for some people, it's kind of like, well, spiritual ego, like, what is that really, and how do I have too much of it? And one example of that is thinking that you don't need to be on the call, when in fact, by choosing to be on the call, you make this a priority, and you obviously add whatever it is that you have to share. And, we're part of this group because this is what we all intended on doing. And everyone that is part of this as we continue to grow is really important to the oneness that we are. And so it's really, for me, it's a level of making this a priority and doing whatever it takes to participate. Now, I'm going to be the first one to tell you, I do not spend 3 hours on the website because I am not a learner but I listen to the calls, I listen to the website, and I have to do other things. For me personally, it's all about application. So having all the truths to go over, having all the unbiased, or the 164, that to me is everything, because focusing on that, going through that and saying, Diana, how do you do that? What does this mean? What does that mean? It's like, to me, that's practicing, and that's far more important in the way that I learn and the way that I understand things is to have the experience. So I'm just sharing from my perspective and saying, like, don't get freaked out. We're all in this together, and all this is just continuing to look at flow and what's been going on with our group. And there are a lot of people who are part of our group who can attend, but they're not. And that says something. That says something about their commitment. It says something about, are they really into returning to quantum? And so part of it is we also have to know that we need to make our own self-choice. We need to make our own choices. So we can't go to other people and ask what their magnificence says. We can get feedback, we can share, but it's really important to recognize that this is our opportunity to return to quantum, being our magnificence. And some people aren't there yet. They're needing to cross that threshold. No problem. We're all in it together. It doesn't matter. It's not a race. But it's super important for us to understand that this is not just about going over things on a website. It's about application. It's about practice. It's about sharing, So
when you say application, what do you mean?
Applying the truths to how you're living. Looking at false beliefs and going, okay, where is that in me? Which is the question I ask myself all the time. I see something, I get a reaction, and I go, okay, you're reacting to that, so something's going on. Where is that in you?
Okay.
Because that's how we check ourselves.
Okay. Yeah. So yesterday, it was yesterday, I had asked to let go of all bias, because the word bias really bothers me, but I know I have a lot. So with certain things, I can feel the reactions coming up. That's why I asked you application, what that meant. And so I asked to be cleared of it. Well, about 3 hours later, I had I don't know how to pronounce the word, a Herkemeyer reaction. Oh boy, did stuff come out of me. And nobody was home. I was kind of glad, but I felt like this morning when I went into my quiet space, I'm like, did I just let go of a lot of bias? And I did, because I got to really look at myself on a very clearer. I felt clearer. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to ask, is that what I did, Peter? Can I ask that?
Yeah. One of the
it was very
scenarios
physical.
Is that we don't want any bias. Bias, no bias, right? Red. In a way, what we're doing is no bias. So if we're still wrestling with the tricks, or if we're still wrestling with our
Wrestling with what?
With what?
What was the last word?
our ego.
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 Okay, thank you.
So it's the common trickster or our individual ego.
Yes.
Thank you.
So it's those two. Now, so when the only thing that I would add for Alex is it was her magnificence. She became closer to being her magnificence full time because she asked to be cleaned of bias.
I did. And I probably held on to quantum strength 2 hours before the event happened, which I was very thankful for because I don't think I would have lived through it. It was pretty gross, but I felt like, well, if I can do this for myself, it'll make everybody else's path easier. And it was very humbling.
Yeah.
And we go back to what Diana was sharing. If you touch base with the website for 5 minutes a day, it's all you need. Because the rest is practice and application, which is practice. So there is no suggestion at all to spend 3 hours a day on the website. But touch base and look at one thing.
Yes.
That's what that says.
Yes.
Yeah, I listen to these calls every day, the same one, until we get to the next one, and it really helps. And the word bias, I stare at the word bias, and I'm like, okay, we got to deal with that, Alex.
Sometimes,
Alex.
Right.
Peter, I found sometimes when I go on the website, it's 2 in the morning or in the middle of the night because I can't rest. And coming to the website is like being home, getting in, touch with my closest friends, my family, and it's so reassuring. I'm able to go to sleep and rest.
Thank you, Diana. That's really cool.
It's
Hey, my solution if I can't sleep is I get the iPad to read the thing to me, and I'm asleep in no time.
So it's just
Yes.
look. I just want to remind everybody you've crossed the quantum threshold, and then just use more quantum strength. Lee's got problems right now. Just do it. Use it.
Yeah.
Practice. Apply.
And ask your quantum for what you need. Ask your magnificence for what you need. It's like a continual, growing that relationship until we become totally one with it.
Exactly.
Yes.
Peter,
Yes.
ask a question. I live in a condominium where there are 4 buildings, and we got an announcement that said,
You're not very clear, Diane.
they put this on, but then I can't hear you answer. I don't know why, but it doesn't work. Just 1 second. Can you hear me now? Yes, it's real. Can you hear me now?
yes, very clear.
Okay, thank you, because I can't hear you. 2 things. I got an announcement from my board, the HOA, saying that somebody in our group, our 4 buildings, had the COVID, and that if we went out, we had to wear gloves and we had to wear masks. And, when you just said that we should not be wearing masks, or I'm confused about that. I don't know quite how to handle that.
If you have to do it for social reasons, other reasons, where people are going to generate all kinds of negative energy towards you, do it.
Oh, good. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. That's really scary. Okay, the other question I have is I went over the whole 164 dangerous words, and some of them stopped me a little bit, but I kind of got what was the reason why it was divine and dangerous. But there was one word, it was devotion, and I recognize that that can be some kind of a religious thing, or it can be feeling that someone else's or Godhead or something is so supreme and so important, and it's not an equal thing. But I wondered if and that would be a small d, or don't use it at all. But what if I were to use it to say, I'd like to devote attention on studying the website? Could I say, would that be a capital D, or do you not want us to use that word in any form?
Well, see,
just a second.
There's only one person for you to have devotion to, yourself.
Okay.
See, it's really your magnificence, and everything you're learning is pre-approved by your magnificence. It's that exact.
Okay, So, 1 second. It'd be better to use the word focus if I'm talking about focusing attention.
Yeah, focus is fine.
Or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Focus is your main.
Okay.
Does that ring truth to you?
Yes, it does. Basically saying if it's relating to the man, it's
just if you go back for 5,000 super, we did no new balance. No new balance. And then when we mobilized, we added magnificence. So no new balance, but because now we have mobile, the balancing is faster for quantum returnees, and the knowing accelerates. So we are accelerating our knowing because of expanding from to 25. But to the extent we're not.
Somebody's sleeping.
I think it's a dog.
It's a dog.
I think he's a dog.
A dog is panting in the.
Yes.
Oh, dog.
Right.
A dog wants to join us.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful.
Happy dog.
I've been listening to the dog breathing since the beginning.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
It's very loving.
Yeah.
Can I just share something?
Yes.
Okay, this is Nuno again.
Welcome.
And thank you so much, and thank you for this amazing call. Peter, thank you, because the way you started the call today was was pretty new to me too, but in a way that it's a little different than the last calls, because you were addressing directly ego and trickster, and that's what I've been feeling lately. And that is because it looks like you were answering all my latest questions. and I have been. I know that's about me. I'm gonna share it immediately. I know that is about me because that's what I've been feeling this last months and weeks and days. So thank you so much. That really helped me. And even today, I was working with my ego. And one thing I felt is that my trickster was actually keeping me humble.
Now, no, it's not your trickster. It's
okay, yes,
our
the one
trickster. Our
yes.
ego is individual.
All right. So the trickster is keeping me humble, is keeping me on my toes, for sure. That's what I felt today.
See, that's actually your magnificence.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes, I understand that. Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Peter, I have a question for you.
Please.
If you're going through challenges now and you're going to be experiencing some of these experience filaments, is that just the way of our magnificence trying to get us to go to quantum, to make sure that we are in where we need to be to get to quantum? Is that why we're having challenges now?
Yeah, it's your quantum directing what the baggage that you don't want anymore.
Okay, so it's actually showing us that. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So, in your access to strength, quantum strength, that number 6 is the counter to the test.
Okay.
All right. Does that hang together? Like.
Okay. Thank you.
Just about all of us, including myself, my tests are enormous. We all have tests, and some of them are pretty ugly.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're just plain ugly, but they work.
It helps us to grow.
Correct. That's exactly right.
Okay.
So, Peter, you are saying that even though you are fully quantum, you still have really big tests?
Yeah, it's like, think of it this way: it's like an engine, right?
Right.
And the crankcase has sawdust in it, and you don't want that sawdust. You want the ability for your heart to become quantum. So think of it as getting closer and closer to going from 7 and 6 to 6.
Yeah.
And that's what Lee is sharing.
Yeah.
And everybody, without exception, is doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And some trickster, the common trickster, and their ego, they haven't mastered them yet. And they are, and these mistakes will last through many lives until they the trickster fairy does this. Your quantum does. The ego does exist. The individual ego. And as long as that ego remains stronger, you're going to use remote once in a while with your magnificence. And when you're using remote, you're making progress, but you aren't mastering.
Yeah, you can't fake your way into quantum by having it.
That's right.
That's
pretending
funny.
to be all hunky dory, you know.
Yes.
Fake it till you make it doesn't work.
No, it doesn't work in threshold step. It doesn't work anywhere beyond.
And this now it's making it very, very clear.
Yeah.
For me, it's
Yes. Yeah.
there's nowhere to hide.
Nowhere to hide.
I
Yeah,
like that.
Nowhere to hide.
That's another great way to say it.
Yeah.
yes.
That's what I've been feeling. So
Yay.
All right. Well, so our next meeting is on Wednesday.
On Wednesday, yes.
yay.
Hey, 2 days from now.
Yes.
Exactly.
Canada Day.
Yes. Yes.
Is it at the same time?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, always the first. At the first. It's the 1-1.
Yeah.
So the first day and 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
So you got 1-1.
Yes, all July calls are Wednesdays, and August calls will be Saturdays. So.
Okay.
We didn't sing happy birthday
So
to
for
Diana.
tomorrow, yes.
Yeah, Diana's.
Oh, yeah.
Happy birthday
Happy
to
birthday.
you.
Yeah,
Whose
Happy
birthday?
birthday.
Which
to
Diana?
you.
Martinez.
Happy birthday,
Diana
Diana
Martinez.
Martinez.
Happy
Happy birthday,
birthday
to you.
Thank you.
Endlessly.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Diana.
Happy birthday.
You're welcome.
See you in
Thank
2
you.
days.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Bye,
everybody.
Hector.
See you in 2
Thank
days.
Thank you. Love
Thank you,
guys.
Julie.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Be with you.
Thank you, Peter.
It's to have you with us, Olga.
Yes, it's nice
Yes.
to see you.
Great to see you, Olga.
I've seen you for a long time.
Yay,
know.
Olga.
Yay, Olga.
Yay.
Take care, Lee. We're so
Olga
happy
was
you
amazing.
joined, Olga.
Great to see you. Olga
Yeah.
Lucia.
Peter,
Yay.
Hi, Yuri.
you so Judy was the one who helped me. So thank
no,
you. Thank you.
everybody did.
Yay.
Wow. Thank you.
Yay, yay. It's the first call, yes.
Yes.
Yay.
Hi, Julie.
Hi, Sunny.
I
Hi,
love you.
Julie.
Say hi to Brian.
Oh, I love your hairstyle, Julie. You look
Oh, it's
nice.
beautiful.